Your local ProAg Farmers Cooperative agronomist today to get your grid samples pulled before the snow starts flying.
This is the morning sports desk for Wednesday, October 11th. All right, Corey. Well, you had high school volleyball yesterday.
Indeed. Remember yesterday when I said I would venture a guess as to say this might be the best volleyball match I see during the year?
And what happened?
We went 5 sets.
Whoa!
As a matter of fact, the JV match even went 5 sets, or not 5, I guess 3. They both went the distance last night. It was, it was fun. It was, I think, probably exactly what both of those teams wanted. Maybe not as far as like execution on the court goes, but as far as this is good competition at the end of the season. And you know, the old cliches, we want to be peaking at the right time, blah, blah, blah. We want to be playing our best at the end of the season, blah, blah, blah. Well, you have to when those two teams play each other. You have to play your best. And it went 5. It was really exciting. Pine River Bacchus ended up pulling it out. It was all but one of the sets were close. The 4th set was not that close. That's just how that goes. But the 5th was like 15-12, and it was right there to have been even closer. You know how it is, especially with rally scoring. Things can turn on a dime when it's that sprint to 15 in the 5th set. So it was fun. Pine River Bacchus came out victorious. There are 2 dates left on the schedule for the Tigers, 3 for the Trojans. So, you know, it's MEA week next week.
I still can't process that.
MEA week next week, the final week of the regular season.
Didn't school just start like a week ago?
Yeah, something like that. It was right around a week.
Yeah.
So we're in it, man. It's happening.
It's happening. Yeah, it's a nice little tune-up for you to get ready for postseason volleyball, because that's
right
about the intensity. It's going to feel like. What was the scene like in Sabika yesterday? I was listening to your pregame show. It sounded like you got stuck right behind the pep band.
No, I got stuck right in front of the pep band.
Oh,
no, it was. There was a lot of people there. They had like an elementary night. So they invited all the elementary kids out, which is cool because that might be the only volleyball match they see until, from last year to this year, and it'll probably be the only one they see for a lot of them until next year. And so that part was cool. It was like a purple out. It's their fall festival week in Sabika. So they were all dressed up and jazzed up and ready to rock and roll. Pine River Bacchus brought their student section, and they were in like Hawaiian theme, beach theme sort of gear, which is this is like new. This is new stuff happening. I'm gonna age myself, but we had dress up days during the day.
Yeah,
but like it wasn't really that you would dress up for the evening. Like our school colors were black and gold. There was no like blackout night for the student section.
Right.
And now it's even that like the visiting student sections will show up dressed up as something.
Yeah, they'll all like.
It's awesome.
It's great. It's great coordination. It's very appreciated.
There's some hilarious things that they're like all-time corny, but perfect because it's intentionally all-time corny. You know what I mean? Like some of that stuff when now the visiting student sections are showing up dressed up, I think that's hilarious. Like promposals in the spring, that is all-time corny level stuff. It's so awesome that they do that. It's like creative and a big deal. I love that sort of stuff.
The student sections, this one I've seen recently over the last few years, setting up their own ESPN table. Has been fun. If you have done that at all, you get a tip of the cap from me.
It's great
because I would have loved to do that, like in high school, just to have like get a table set up and you just sit there and like, I mean, you don't really do anything, but it's just more for the looks or to coordinate stuff like that. It's really fun. I tip of the cap to some of these kids who are doing that.
I love when they start chanting back and forth at each other.
They're not even talking to the players on the court anymore at all. It's like one set of students talking to another set of students, and there just happens to be a volleyball game in between them.
But there's 2 events happening that night. There's something on the court, and there's whatever is happening in the stands, and they don't have to be related at all. Those are mutually exclusive events.
So great night there in Topeka, especially for the Pine River Bacchus Tigers who get the win there. Yep. Okay. We've been putting this off, talking a little bit about the Twins game, and I'm gonna put it off one more thing. We've talked about Bob Costas off the air, Corey.
Yep.
Did you know that he saved somebody's life the other day?
I did not.
Now, apparently Bob Costas is just as good in life or death situations as he is been historically in the broadcasting booth. He saved somebody's life at a restaurant. Somebody was choking, and he straight up just did the Heimlich maneuver, just
Nice.
got it out of there. So Bob Costas, 71-year-old man performing the Heimlich maneuver.
Sneaky old Bob Costas.
Sneaky old Bob Costas.
You know what he looks like to me? This is another thing I have to say about Bob Costas. He looks like he might be 5'2". But are we going to be surprised? I'm looking it up right now. How tall do we think Bob Costas is?
Because you said 5'2", I'm going to go 5'6".
Like, wouldn't it be hilarious if he was like, as tall as Dan? He was like 6'3" or something like that.
Hello, I'm Bob Costas. How is the weather down there?
Why is it giving me this? Why is it giving me his height in meters?
There's two types of countries in this world, Corey. There's countries that use the metric system, and there's countries that have landed on the moon.
How tall is 1.7 meters?
Time to do some basic conversion. So,
a meter is, what is a meter?
Like a meter is like
9 inches.
A meter is basically a yard, isn't it?
It's longer than a yard.
A little bit longer.
I think it's like around 39. So he's not quite 6. He's average height.
Wow. Well, that takes the fun out of it,
right?
Yeah. Speaking of, you know what Bob Costas' best role was? Because he's done a few sports.
Wait, no, 5.5 feet.
I was close.
1.7 meters is 5.5 feet. 5.6 feet. So, wow, yeah, he's kind of a short guy.
And so you know what Bob Costas' best role was? Him and Al Michaels doing basketball. It's don't have the little ones when you're watching that movie.
Sometimes don't even have big ones with that movie. You're going to teach some things that they're going to take with them.
Yeah, maybe.
As can be exampled by, I don't know, the two of us.
It's great. There's a few different lines that are really funny. Bob Costas has one that I maybe could say on air, maybe not. But there's also just some really funny throwaway lines in that movie when he's talking about it's a real shame that he blew that one, Al, on Dozen Egg Night, and they're just throwing eggs at the players. It's a great movie. Go watch basketball unless you're under the age of 13. Maybe don't do that, or maybe even 16.
Yeah, there's I would say all of those.
Yeah, it's really
don't watch it at all.
Parents,
maybe no one should want to watch that movie.
It's created by the guys who made South Park. Parents, so if that's enough for you to be like, oh, okay, I kind of know where to judge this on.
I love that movie.
It's a great movie. It is awesome. So can you tell we don't want to talk about the Twins losing 9-1 yesterday?
Kind of got pummeled, didn't they?
Yeah, and really, here's what I think the game boils down to. The Twins overall in the postseason are 3 for 20 with runners in scoring position. It's not good. Not good at all. It's like a 111 batting average. And it showed yesterday. Even though the Twins got down 4-0, they immediately had runners on second and third in the first inning to at least let's chip it away. One base hit, and it's 4-2. And we're right back in this.
Yeah, you can't hit a 5-run home run. You can't just take the lead back in one swing anyway.
Right.
So show some discipline. And it was a tough one.
It was a tough one. And you saw, Royce Lewis had that at bat where he struck out with 2 on, 1 out. And then you had Royce Lewis come up again with the bases loaded and strike out. And we talk about all the great things Royce Lewis has done, and he's earned all those accolades. But also you see why he's a rookie. He's coming up there and he's over eager, and you can tell they're throwing him junk outside the strike zone and he's just whiffing at it.
Yeah.
Because he's just he swung at a fastball at his eyes. He's over eager. And there's a few situations where I just thought this game boils down to the fact that the Twins, first of all, Alex Kirilloff had a really bad error in the first inning. That Jordan double should have been an inning-ending double play, and then they don't give up 4 runs in the first inning.
That's pretty much it. You almost could boil it down to that. Don't have complete the inning-ending double play, and we're talking about an entirely different.
because the Twins, I know they ended up losing 9-1, but there was a point where Rocco's like, all right, well, we're down 5-0 and our offense can't generate anything. I'm going to not use my top arms today because we're going to need them over the next 2 games. And that's why you saw Bailey Ober come in, who pitched game 1. It's why you saw Kenta Maeda come in. It's why you saw like they're burning some of their longer guys. They use Pagan, I guess, but they still have Jax, Duran, Paddock, Varland. They still have all those guys for today. Yep. But really, this game boiled down to the Twins made a crucial back-breaking error in the first inning, and they couldn't hit with runners in scoring position. You're going to look at the score and see 9-1 and see, oh, the pitching stunk. And they weren't sharp. Obviously, Sonny Gray wasn't particularly sharp. I said this yesterday when you left, Corey. I said, Sonny Gray, there's one thing that the Twins are in for a bad day. It's cold. Sonny Gray led the league in home runs allowed per 9 innings this season. And I said, if he gives up a home run, you're in for a rough day. And in the first inning, that 3-run home run was off the sweeper, a pitch he hadn't allowed a home run on all season long.
Yep.
Looked like it didn't get the break it wanted and just hung over the zone. And noted Twin killer Jose Abreu smashed it.
There's a lot to take. I will say this. I'm gonna continue and choose to be a little glass half full on some of this.
I'm more glass half full than I think I should be following a 9-1 loss.
Well, here's some of the things about 9 runs also is it turned into a bit of a home run derby at the end of the ball game.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's his face hit another one.
Jordan.
Yeah, Jordan hit another. But he's hit 3 home runs in the series. 2 of them have come when the game's been over.
Right.
And the pitching is just like, let's just throw strikes and let them hit themselves out. And we'll just kind of save face and move on. That's my glass half full on this. This is both of those games turned into, we don't need to prove anything. Let's just throw strikes. They'll roll it over to our second baseman. And so 2 of his home runs have come in effectively garbage time.
Yeah.
Which is good because that guy's very dangerous. I mean, he's still hitting the ball out of the ballpark. I'm not taking.
He still hit a couple doubles yesterday.
Yes, exactly. I'm not taking that. I'm not taking his power and his effectiveness away from him. I don't want to discredit that at all. But, in a closer game, they're not just going to throw knee-high strikes to him middle in. You know what I mean? That's just not going to happen.
Turns out cutters right down the pipe are not the perfect pitch to throw to that guy.
Exactly. And sometimes things they just go wrong. I feel very just kind of comfortable in who this Twins team is. I don't think they competed very well yesterday. There's some things that I don't like.
I think they got runners on base. Season. I just think they couldn't get that timely hit. They couldn't get the timely hit, which is what they haven't been able to get all season long.
Well, and
or at least in the first half.
This is an old school thing. This is an old school baseball thing. But Houston is doing it. Turns out they're managed by a very old school guy. But I think it was the 5th inning. You get the first 2 runners on. I think it was still 4-0 at that time.
Yeah.
It might have been 5-0. But you need to break the ice here a little bit. Could you have Polanco maybe try to bunt there? If nothing else, it gets you out of a double play situation. You put 2 runners into scoring position. It's some of those. I understand that's nitpicky. They haven't done it all season. They're not going to do it now. I get all of that. It's probably, I'm not even saying it's necessarily the right move, but he didn't even show it. And I was surprised by that. I think they needed to try to, they were not hitting with runners in scoring position. So you need to try to force the issue sometimes,
Yeah. So Joe Ryan, how we feeling about the Joe Ryan experience tonight? The game was originally in noon. First pitch got moved to 6:07 because Baltimore got swept by the Rangers.
Yep.
So there was a time slot. The Twins took that one. 6:07 first pitch, 5 o'clock pregame on KWAD. Corey, how confident are you in Joe Ryan?
I don't know. Fine. He's not had a sterling second half of his season. He's especially, since he's been injured.
He hasn't started now in almost 2 weeks.
I feel fine about Joe Ryan because this is a kitchen sink game.
Right.
He's
probably only pitching 3 innings, honestly, today.
really anything beyond 3 innings that you get or 4 innings that you get from Joe Ryan that's great news. The longer Joe Ryan pitches, the better I feel about the game. But also the second it starts to look weird,
they're getting him out of there.
Get him out of there because your season's
it's win or go
literally home. On the line. So it's a kitchen sink game. Do what you can, Joe Ryan. Show us why you were an opening day starter one year. That'd be cool. The Twins can absolutely win this ball game.
They can absolutely. And that's the thing the Twins have did all season. They were a 500 ball club, which means as soon as they lose a game, you know what they do? They turn around and win.
They have did that, haven't they?
They've did that all season long. So who's to say that they're not going to do it again?
Go Twins. Go Twins, go.
This has been the Morning Sports Desk for Wednesday, October 11th. 7:32 on KWAD. Here's MNN News.
Minnesota News Network. I'm Brent Palm. A huge